Hey, Rick Chapo here with DMCAagentservice.com. Thank you for joining me for today for another video on the DMCA. Specifically, we are looking at what is a third-party DMCA agent? This is a question we've received a couple times, which is somewhat humorous because we are a third-party DMCA agent service. This is what we do. So let's just dig right into it. The DMCA is a federal copyright law in the United States. Section 512C of the law is kind of the key provision we're looking at. And what it does is it grants websites and apps immunity from copyright infringement claims based on content uploaded by users. So let me repeat that. You get immunity against copyright infringement claims based on content uploaded by your users. So if you have a website and you have a comment section and somebody comes and they post something in the comment section, let's say disagreeing with whatever you've published, and then they also add a photo of another site's article that rebuts what you've put up. Okay, well, in that case, using that photo is likely a form of copyright infringement. So the question is, who's liable for that? Well, the person leaving the comment would definitely be liable because they're the person that's taking the action. But what about you as the site owner? And the answer to the DMCA is no, you are not, because you're granted immunity. So long as it's the user who is posting it and not yourself, you have immunity. If that sounds like a really huge advantage, it's because it is. It's an amazing law. If you own a website or an app, you should always comply with the DMCA. It's basically a get out of jail free card. Now, is there a catch? Do I really have to answer that? Come on, we already know what the answer is. Yes, there's a catch. When a copyright complaint comes in, it's called a DMCA takedown notice under the DMCA. You must follow a particular compliance process. The compliance process is not difficult. You can just do a search online for DMCA compliance process to find all kinds of articles detailing exactly what you have to do. But part of that compliance process, actually something you actually have to do beforehand when you pretty much launch your site or your app, is you have to designate an agent. And this is the DMCA agent. And the role of the agent is simply to receive those complaints. So if a copyright owner comes to your site and they want to submit a DMCA takedown notice, they're going to look around for the agent's information. And typically you'll have a DMCA policy, or maybe the information is listed in your terms and conditions. But regardless, you have to designate an agent under the law to maintain the immunity. If you don't designate an agent, you lose the immunity. Now, the agent's not only going to be listed on your website or app, they're also going to be listed in an online database maintained by the Copyright Office. So you have to go register with the Copyright Office. And that information, that database is available to the public. So who can be the agent? Well, when we refer to a first-party DMCA agent, we're really talking about the owner of the website or the app. Now, can they be the agent? Yes, they can. Do most owners of websites or apps actually act as their own agent? Almost never. And the reason is privacy. They're concerned about their personal information because under the DMCA, when the agent is listed, the information that must be listed is their name, their address, their phone number, and their email address. So at a minimum, that information is going to be swept up by various advertising bots, and you're going to get an endless amount of spam, as well as sales calls to your phone number. There's also the concern about identity theft. There's most people just really don't want their personal information floating around online. It's just kind of a recipe for disaster. Now, in a worst case situation, people could take your name, your address, your phone number, and email address, and pretty easily figure out where you're located. And so you have to ask yourself whether you want a quote unquote fan showing up at the front door of wherever you're working, particularly if you're working from home, if you have kids, that kind of a thing. Last thing you really want to have happen is, it's a dark, stormy night. You look out the front window and there's somebody on your lawn wearing a hockey mask and holding a machete. Is that likely to happen? Hopefully not, but do you really want to risk it? And so privacy is really, a major concern. And so people will use third-party DMCA agents. Now, who's a third-party DMCA agent? Well, sometimes you can get your lawyer to do it, although they often will not, just because they're concerned about conflict of interest. But there are companies that offer the service. Ours specifically, DMCAagentservice.com. So we charge $70 a year, and we provide you with our agent information. So when somebody goes to your website or your app to file a complaint, or they go look at the Copyright Office database, they're going to see our agent's name, our address, our phone number, and our email. Because we love getting spam and sales calls. And so what is a third-party DMCA agent? It's basically somebody who helps you maintain your privacy while still complying with the DMCA. And so you get the advantages of the safe harbor immunity without having your personal information spread all over the web. Lucky you. But for $70 a year, it's a pretty good deal. So that's it for today's video. If you're interested in more DMCA topics, consider subscribing to this channel, as we'll be publishing endless videos on various aspects of the DMCA. If you enjoyed the video or found the information helpful, please consider giving us a thumbs, excuse me, a like below. And then if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and post them below, and I'll do my best to answer them. So thank you for watching. Have yourself a good one.